In one of the first things we did, I placed my hand on certain points on the body. And if I can have a volunteer, I want to demonstrate these points because they can be very useful in a lot of ways to help relieve things, so I need a volunteer. Okay. Good. All right. In the Hawaiian system, there are different systems in the world for energy centers. And the most well-known today are the chakras, which were invented in India, and the acupuncture points. Well, actually, the points exist, but the meridian system, which was invented in China. You've got to understand that there are physical phenomena. For instance, at the acupuncture points, which have been mapped by the Chinese for long ages, it's been discovered that those points are actually points where you can measure the electrical conductivity of the skin will be different than in other parts of the skin. There's actually a phenomena at those points. What that phenomena is open to theory. But there are points, and then you can discover these points for yourself. One of the common ones, if you follow the line of the finger, you can do this too, follow the line of the finger and the line of the thumb to the bone, the corner, there's a slight indentation there. And if you press, most people will feel a sharp pain. Or many people will. You guys are special, so I don't know about you. How many people can feel something like an ache or a pain right there? All right? The other thing that's been discovered about these points is that when you're under stress, they hurt when you touch them. And so there have been all kinds of ways to relieve that pain at these points in order to relieve the stress. And when stress is relieved, tension is relieved, the body begins to heal. So there are a number of different ways of relieving stress at these points. The Chinese, of course, they love to stick needles. The Japanese developed a pressure system that'll drive you out of your mind if you do it, to kind of, the theory is that there's crystals there and you got to break them up. Okay? Nobody's ever found any crystals, but theories are fine. And then the Chinese also have the meridian idea that if you do other points along a certain part of the body, it'll help relieve that one. The meridian system is a way of describing and explaining phenomena. And so is the chakra system. It's no accident that the only place it was ever developed was in India. Today it's very popular around the world, and it's a very good system, but it's a system. Okay. The Hawaiian system is a system based on phenomena that the Hawaiians observed. There are two primary stress points and energy points at the same time. These have both, all these points have both effects. What we normally know in modern times as the seventh cervical vertebrae, which is po'okua in Hawaiian, which means the head of the spine. Okay? But kua, which means the spine or the back, has some hidden inner meanings, and one of which is to transform. So this is one of the primary points up here. The other one is kikala, which means to release ki, at the base of the spine, the coccyx. These are primary, or let's call them fundamental. And then we have the joints, what are called the four corners of the body in Hawaiian, the shoulders and the hip joints. We have palm points, which are just extensions of the shoulder from a Hawaiian point of view. And the points on the foot, the sole of the foot, which are just extensions of the hip points. Okay. So we have this one and this one, the shoulders and the hips. Today we use the head That's a very important point. I'll turn around a bit. But in old Hawaii, you would not have used the head. It was sacred. And it was not to be touched. But today we can do that. Right? Yeah, right. Okay. Right. But it is a major power point, but it was not used with touch in ancient times. Okay? And then there's the navel, the na'au, on the front. And we often use the uma, the chest point as well, the thymus area. Uma. Okay? So those are the main points. And so when we are doing something like the kahi that I demonstrated, what we do is we find a place of pain. Let's assume, make up a place of pain. Something you might have had as a kid or someplace else, or the elbow. Tennis elbow, right? Okay. Then we would put one hand there as a focal point, and we would pick one of the other energy points as a place of the second focus. So the idea would be to use a point as far away as practical. So I'm not going to put it on the bottom of his foot because I don't want to bend down and I'd be all stressed out. So I would probably go hold this with one hand here and put the other one on his opposite shoulder. Doesn't have to be opposite, it just has to have distance. Okay? Then I would inhale with my attention here, exhale with my attention here. Typically we do this for about 4 or 5 breaths and then ask if there's any change.
All gone.
It's all gone? Wonderful, fantastic. All right, thank you very much. All right, thank you for coming.